welcome today. My name is ShaE with an E, and I'm back to you live and direct with another conversation. Today, I am speaking with SYX. He's been making music for most of his life, and most recently, he stepped out, put faith over fear to build his dreams out, to build out his dreams, pun intended. SYX, now a carpenter with a star-studded list of projects under his belt, thrives in set designing, art directing, and managing projects for productions across the board, from music videos, TV pilots, movies, and more. He will join me today in a conversation. I am not only proud, but humble as I introduce the one and only, the next upcoming superstar, my guest today, SYX. Welcome, SYX. How are you today?
How's it going? Everything is good. Everything is good. Feeling good. Feeling blessed.
Well, I certainly am so grateful that you took time out of your day and to share with me. I want to learn more about you, the King, all the things that you're doing. I'm very inspired by you, which is why I'm just excited to have this conversation with you today. If you feel the need to let any, to leave your mark, hopefully now is the time. You've been pretty active almost all your life in entertaining and having the art of putting words together and music, and for a long time self-taught in instruments and some really good things. At what age was it that you knew that you had a creative gift? And tell me about that. I'm pretty active almost all your life in entertaining and having the art of putting words together and music, and for a long time self-taught in instruments and some really good things. At what age was it that you knew that you had a creative gift? And tell me about that.
I felt like, when I was younger, I always liked music. So I never really expanded off of music. I used to just think, it was all about music, and, it really couldn't go no further than that. But I feel like, as early as, as a little kid watching Michael Jackson or whoever, I remember watching Michael Jackson, like, oh man, like, I want to try it. It wasn't more so, it was more so like the, like the whole stigma that comes with it. Like, he's famous, he looks so cool. You want to do that type of deal. But I actually enjoyed the musical part of it. So, I just was, ever since I was like 7, I guess, a little kid, with, my cousin Sean. He would be really into music. He had all the gadgets and stuff like that and all the little equipment and stuff. So we would be making it happen. And, that's really where I developed that interest for music first, where everything kind of started from.
So, and thinking back to the beginning, do you remember what your first song that you wrote? Do you have any recollection of the first song you wrote, or the first lyrics that came to your mind that made it a song?
The earliest songs, I feel like, I remember Sean was really into the internet rapping scene, and he hit me up like, we're gonna do a diss track. So I'm like, okay. So I think that was like probably the first song I did, was a diss track for with Sean Ray.
Wow, look how far back that goes. So this just shows you in the process, right? So in the beginning of the process, that's how long ago that was. And I've certainly been around to watch this happen. So you are building your dreams. You have actually transitioned over into carpentry, which we said. I just wanted to put that out there about the beginning of your process, so that your listener knows that you have been doing a lot of work in being creative, in doing this next level of your growth. You're going right into carpentry. And I want to know, how does one become a carpenter? Like, tell me about how you transitioned into from doing music for so long to kind of stepping into a new realm of creativity and moving into the carpentry where you're using your hands and you're building. How does something like that happen?
Well, first, the Most High kind of that's all praises to the Most High first and foremost. And that's really the answer. But as far as like what I did, I just kind of I don't know. It kind of came about. First, it's like something I was doing to help a friend out, something like that. A friend of mine was really into it, and he had been doing a lot of residential carpentry, and he actually needed help. So I went with him a couple times. I got into it a little bit. I started really getting good at it. I started realizing I was good at it. He started realizing I was good at it. And, we kind of just took off from there. Like, as far as, I kind of just worked with him. He kind of just showed me the ropes at first. So it kind of turned into like a little internship. But, from that, shout out to him. That's the Monty Allen, I give him all the, all respect for that, for, showing me, certain things and put me on to that game. But from there, it kind of just, it kind of spilled into other certain things that I didn't really even know pertain to carpentry, which I never even thought about, which was like the set building and that type of deal. I didn't even know that was, it's a certain levels of stuff that you don't really think about. Like, nobody really thinks about, the person who's like building this stuff. And I didn't think about it until I, one day was presented with that opportunity. And, and that, to me, it just was cool. It just was, it was new, it was interesting. And I had, I was at that point. But,
yeah. So how did the idea for you to bring that into a business come to you?
Well, first, because there's not a lot. It didn't feel like it was a lot of people doing it. It didn't feel like it was, something that was regularly available. And I kept, I guess, noticing the expressions that I would get when I would tell people, what it is that I did, and who were actually in a production realm. So it would be like, hey, I would be doing something else, and I'll meet somebody like, hey, what do you do? I'm like, I build sets. I guess I just was saying it, guess I build sets. I'm like, really? Wow, I really been needing somebody who builds sets, and I was in a position to fulfill the duties that was needed for me. So it's kind of how it went.
There goes that piece of just, that's how it went. That's just how it went. That comes from, it has any part of that been fear-based? And how's your faith tie in to get you from, I guess that's what I'm doing, to this is actually what I'm doing. I'm doing this.
Yeah, that's a good question, because that's a important, important time, because you definitely will go through that. And it's like, the point for me is when I realized that I really like to do this, but it didn't seem like it was as lucrative as I wanted it to be, or maybe it didn't seem as secure as a job, option or whatever like that. It just felt like it was in the air sometimes. The fear kind of came in at those times a little bit, but it was like, you just got to buckle down and just understand that, we got a path. It's like, just got to stay on the path. Like, the Most High is leading the path. I'm just walking the path. So, yeah. And then it kind of just, it kind of just works itself out. I didn't necessarily even know what was going to happen sometimes. I just kind of knew what I wanted to do, and I kind of just trusted the Most High and just kept going for it until, it made a way.
Wow. So that just goes with, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So you don't see it, right? So you're just walking by faith and not by sight, really, at that point. That's a good word to tie into what you're saying is, I really didn't have a plan. I was just walking in faith by the direction of the Most High. And this is the journey. This is the path that I'm being led down, really, of no owens to my own self, right? I can't even take the credit for what's happening now, because it's happening because of your obedience. That's pretty important and really powerful when you're saying that. I hope it's encouraging someone to, don't think about the plan. The plan will work itself out if you just take the faith. If you take your faith and you put that over your fear and you just keep stepping, eventually it will turn into a thing right? That's kind of what I'm doing here. So I don't know why. I just know that I was led in January to do this. And now that I'm doing it, I'm so inspired by the stories that I'm hearing, and I hear a lot of people almost saying the same thing. I don't really know what's happening here. I'm just doing it. I didn't have the money to do it. Like, do you think, does it take a lot of money to do what you're doing? And what does it take? What does it take for you to keep moving? Like, what does it take? And do you have all the things you need to do what you're doing? Does it work itself out?
Yeah, it always, I feel like it always in the end it always works itself out how it was supposed to. And I definitely um I definitely feel like it doesn't take much to take that first step. It doesn't cost anything to take the first step. And I feel like the first step um it could be physical as well as mental. But that part is really the most important part. And that doesn't really cost anything. And I think it's really more so a mind state that you just decide to have, to where it's like I don't think anything's gonna, stop me from doing this. Even if it isn't necessarily monetary or have anything to do with money, you just have to have some sort of something that you want to do. It's just like, y'all, I'm gonna do this, and then have faith that the Most High will have you do that. And I guess, as far as carpentry specifically, I don't think it costs too much. I just feel like, YouTube is my best friend. I remember doing a lot of stuff I learned on YouTube and getting good at. I don't think it really costs anything to become a carpenter. And that's another thing that I really going to fall in love with the craft of carpentry about, is the fact that you don't really need anything to become really good at it. You just need to want to do it well. And if you want to do it well, you'll get better and better every time. So to really that point, you got to just stay busy within it, so you could always be growing. And that's the goal.
Good stuff. What's the key that keeps driving you? What's the key that keeps making you show up, that keeps you focused? What's the key?
The key is the Most High Yah, and the fact that I know that everything that I'm doing is going to show what He can do for everybody, or what it's going to show that, like. And I know that when I'm doing what I'm doing, that's what people are seeing, that, because that's what I move off that purpose. And that's really an honor for me. Like, and that kind of keeps me going. It's not, for me, it's not about, cloud notoriety or anything. I just like to do what the Most High has blessed me with, the gift to know to do and to show people what I could do. And it feels good to be that, the conduit to, to people's, faith, however they may see it. It just feels good to be able to reflect that.
Nice, very nice. Where do you see yourself heading in the future of SYX and your carpentry? Do you see this moving in another direction, or do you just is this where you're going to be? Are you going to be taking on something different, or are you just here focusing here, and this is, is this your platform? Do you see this kind of growing into anything else? I guess I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I feel like from this point, I'm just here for the ride. I'm seeing what's going to happen next. Like, like, I'm just here for it. But I do have a lot of, I kind of do think I want to go towards the direction of, like being a director, or some sort of like starting my own production company or production team, as well as like doing teaching, getting a situation together where I can teach carpentry. YouTube's cool, but there was a lot of stuff that I didn't learn from YouTube. So, maybe I thought about doing certain classes and things like that. And also, I'm still kind of working on a little bit of music, here and there, but I'm not really, geared towards music as too much these days. I'm just trying to, really get this construction or get this carpentry situation really stable first. And then, but yeah, anything can happen at this point. I'm just rolling with it. I art directed for, my, first, television series for Bounce, Bounce TV, which is the Johnsons, which is should be premiering soon, and that's major for me. It's my first art directing gig, so it's just going in a bunch of different directions right at this point.
Congratulations. Congratulations. And I do know if we're looking for you, we can find you in the credits of some really good situations. So I know that what is that? IBD, what is the acronym for?
Oh, IMBD.
Right. So when you're looking that up, so sometimes you're like, who's in that movie? Who plays in that? Who directed that? I know your name is showing up in the credits now. So congratulations. That's pretty big. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, that's pretty deep. I gotta say that, out of all of the things, that's pretty deep because, I remember, I used to watch the credits. Nobody really watches the credits. I'm tuned into the credits now, on certain stuff because that's major for me. Like that's like a, that's the forever thing. That's gonna always be there. And that's pretty, that's like, I feel like the first thing that my name was in was like, it was like a Lifetime. It was single black female. I feel like that was like the first that I was, when I seen it, I was like, wow, because of, it had me in the credits as, lead man or, lead man construction. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool, man. Like I never thought I would see my name on nothing, like anything on TV. I was like, yeah, I hoped, I wished, I dreamed for it. I always dreamed I would go to the BET Awards. Like, I
was just gonna say, oh, that was coming next.
Yeah, I would always dream of going to the BET Awards. I never thought I would literally build the set for the BET Awards, like build it, and then meet the artists and like, the whole nine.
Who was the artist that you built for the BET Awards?
It was Little Baby and 42 Doug. Little Baby, yep.
Isn't that something when we say, I see myself, as when we're younger, we say like, oh, I wish one day I'm going to be, doing this. And we really never know the scope of, do you take the time out to appreciate our words are so powerful because we say, I want to do that one day. And when you're doing it, you may not be doing it in the way that you thought you would be doing it. You may not be on the stage accepting an award at that time, not yet for music, but here it is that your creativity and your gifted hands made it happen. Right. You made the music performance happen when you would, when it was wished for, it was that I would be the music performance happening. But you are the creative hands and gifted hands behind the scenes of actually, I always think about art directors, and I really never, like you said, I've really never thought about it before, but art directors and art designs, your like-minded, your peers, like you all, really, there would be no productions if it wasn't for the people who are behind the scenes making that work. And I know that you've been very busy in a lot of different productions and projects, almost nonstop for like 2 years straight. Just always working, always booked and busy. So it's really good to see. I know that you have done some work right, because you're there. So they're pulling you in to be a part of some situations, right? So I know that's pretty exciting. All of that because you allowed your faith to, you've allowed your faith to overcome your fear and just working through what the Most High has put into your heart and being obedient. Look at where you're going now. And I certainly do see you coming into the next level of this. I really believe that because you believe it. And I know that what we've set out for, I mean, you've told me many times, people are looking for the miracle when we are the miracle, and the miracle in that is, here it is, you picked up a hammer and carpentry tools and learned from someone else. And now, you're excelling and doing some really great things. So, I mean, if you haven't taken a moment to celebrate yourself, do that. because a lot of times people always are thinking about the end result, you know, what I'm trying to get to. But sometimes it's just as important to stop and look and say, these are some of the things these are some of the relationships, some of the networking that I've built. I mean, you've done some work with one of my all-time favorite artists, Brandy. The whole family loves Brandy, and to see you working on her video, what was it? Somebody's son.
Somebody's son. Yep.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, it was
Tell me
pretty cool.
about that.
That was pretty deep. Yeah, you know, it was pretty cool video. It was, you know, a lot of backdrops and things like that. Like it was another artist. It was T.Y. Savage. I think she's like based out of Africa. So her team came in. It was real cool. It was a real smooth video. And the whole time I really just was like wanting to take the picture. I'm like, I gotta ask her how I'm gonna take a picture, because I never ask anybody to take pictures. I'm just always trying to play it cool and just, you know, just here to do my job.
Right.
I meet people, you know, I'm always, you know, I'm respectful. Right. Who I meet everybody, but I never really like try to take pictures and all of that. I just be chilling. But Brandy, I had to take a picture. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take this picture. So the whole time we doing everything, she's real cool. You know, she's chilling with Tara. Everything is cool. And right when she about to leave, I'm like, hey, you mind if I take a picture? Like, nah. And then she was about to leave. I'm like, oh man. She was like, I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing. Take the picture. I was pretty cool. I was honored.
Yeah.
She's my, you know, one of my favorite, you know.
Absolutely.
Artists. Oh yeah.
So what has been one of the most complicated builds for you thus far?
So I think okay. The most challenging build had to have been okay. The most challenging build I think was this Pretty Little Thing shoot that I did for Tiana Taylor. I was like building on that. I think that was like one of the most challenging builds because not more so because of the you know the design itself. It just was more so like the amount of sets we did in a short amount of time, and you know, I feel like it was a lot going on there. But it turned out really cool, but it just was a lot. And then at the same time, in the midst of that, I had like you know, it was like a lot of it was just a lot involved with that project. There was a lot of things going on at that time, and but yeah, it was really that was one of the more challenging ones. Yeah, I would have to pick that one because
that's big. Tiana Taylor. I mean, come on now. Yeah, that's awesome.
It was pretty real, but it came out really dope, which is cool. And you know, she's dope.
Shout out to Tiana. She's doing her thing. So super proud of her. She's doing it for brown skinned ladies. She's in the game. I don't like to say killing it. I like to say giving it life, and that's exactly what she's doing. To get to work with the likes of someone in the industry as powerful as her, I mean, that's good. That speaks volumes to you know, people who would trust your hands and your creativity on their projects and their sets. That's big. I mean, that's really big. So my next question for you is, who do you compare yourself to?
I feel like, you know, I feel like I try not, you know, I don't compare myself to anybody. I just kind of, you know, kind of move in the way of, you know, that's original to me. And I'm not sure if I don't know, you know, somebody else might compare me to, or like whatever that would be, but like I'm not sure. One of the people I'm definitely inspired by is Spike Lee because, yeah, you know, he's just, you know, the way he shoots his, you know, the shots he gets and when he directs and things like that, the way in which his passion comes out when he's directing and things like that. I kind of, you know, I kind of like his style of shooting, you know, so I kind of definitely, I wouldn't say compare myself to him, but I would like to be like something, try to get some of those gems. You know, definitely watch some old Spike Lee movies. But yeah, you know, other than that, sure. I don't know. I don't really know a lot of people who are carpenters.
Yeah, I know that right now, if we're thinking, you're right when you say, I don't know many people who are doing this. You said that a little earlier, and it's true because you know the people who are doing all the other things. But the people who are building, like, it would be no sets. There would be no that would take away a lot of. You can act, you can be a great actor, but if you don't have a set to act, I mean, so that and I haven't met anyone, who does that. I know that they are awarded at different ceremonies, the likes of art directors and set designers and wardrobe and hair and makeup and all the people that really make the show go on. So maybe, you'll be the one to step into the light to say, it's time to celebrate that without us, and I know sometimes that, I remember hearing like strikes, like the production teams and stuff will go on strike. That hits the movie industry hard because you really can't do much without the hands and the gifted hands of those behind the scenes. So, I mean, just as big as the star actress and actors, just the same gifts and gems that go to celebrate them. I mean, we really should be looking at those of you behind the scenes and giving just as much notoriety to that, because the performance really can't go on without the production. Right. So that's cool.
Oh, I appreciate that, and yeah, that's really deep. I do appreciate that, and
I mean, when you think about it, right?
Yeah, nobody actually. I feel like that is kind of true because nobody actually thinks about the things like that, and I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons why I knew it was something that I should pursue, is because I knew it was something that was it was different. It was a little risky. It was different, but it also was something that I haven't really seen anybody doing. And driving that maybe is something I could try out, and so I just figured, why not? Give it a shot.
Yeah. Give it a shot, and man, was that a good shot to take. You hit that. You gave it a shot. You sure did. My next question, as we start to wrap up, I want to ask you, how do you plan, or how do you give back?
So I honestly, that was bringing me to the next thing. I really do kind of want to start doing some sort of classes within the craft. I kind of really want to spread the craft a little more. I always just as I'm doing things now, as I'm furthering in the position, I'm able to bring my help on. I'm always bringing like my homeboys or like whoever we need, if they need work at the time or something like that. So on top of that, I'm trying to build my own team that I could bring as far as starting my own construction team or construction company to be contracted out to do certain jobs, in which I'll be able to certify people within that, within my, business, and, just putting other people in a position to be able to do, some of the things that I've, been blessed to do, or just even, put them in a position to see what they possibly would do with it. And, hopefully, they can take it a little further than I did. And, I always try to do that, I always try to keep, try to do that, as much as I can. And, yeah, but moving forward, I definitely want to start some sort of classes, maybe YouTube or podcast situation, just teaching people the basics of, carpentry. And, or maybe even like, production sets or whatever it is, like whatever things that people didn't really have a grasp on that just need help. I'm here to kind of just help out a little bit, the help that I didn't necessarily get. I'm just trying to keep that going. Pay it forward.
Yeah. That's good. With all of the things that you're talking about, I certainly want to book you for a conversation in 12 months from now, because I have a feeling that it's going to be pretty powerful. I do want to talk about your editing. I've been blessed to have you edit some of the conversations with ShaE, and I tell you, people are always, you make what the words that I'm saying and the things that I'm doing really come alive and really make it more exciting to watch, because your editing is outstanding, right? You have a true gift at that too, where you're editing these particular ones that I'm talking about. Do you see yourself doing that in the future, where you're editing, and where does that fit in with your plans or with your journey?
Yeah, definitely. Editing is definitely going to fit in. As I'm just kind of trying to learn as much as I can right now at this point, so that when it does come full circle, I'll be prepared in all aspects of the situation. I do honestly feel like it's moving more towards maybe movie productions. Maybe start having start doing have my own productions. Doing my own movies, maybe writing movies. I'm just trying to really get to the point where I'm have all the tools, or have all the resources, even if I don't have it myself, just knowing where it is, knowing how to get certain things done. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to get towards making some movies. That's the thing. Like I'm speaking that into existence now, because I feel like that has to be the next move coming up soon, because I'm learning all the pieces to the puzzle. So it's just a matter of time.
How do people stay in touch with you? How do people connect with you? How do people network with you? How do people hire you? How do people call on you? Give us that information.
Okay. Well, on Instagram, my name is _IAMSYX. It's IM6 on Instagram. You can contact me there. Reach out. Let me know whatever you need going on. If you got a project, if you need something edited, if you need a set built, construction. I'm
super excited for your future, SYX. And I just want to, when you came on here, I introduced you, and what an honor that is to be able to do that and watch you work in your gifts, just by being guided and being obedient from the Most High. And I'm just truly, truly blessed. And I would like to give you the opportunity to reintroduce yourself. And when I say that, I want you to speak to me. I want you to tell me who you are in the future. Introduce yourself to me, SYX. Who are you in the future? Now's the time to reintroduce yourself.
Well, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is SYX. I am I'm the owner of Sector 6 Productions, where we shoot multitude of movies, music videos, short stories, plays, whatever you need. Also the owner of a prop company and a set building company where we also do classes, and we get back to the community in the form of teaching the youth, just carpentry as a trade. And I'm just, walking the path of the Most High is laid out for me, and I'm honored, and I'm here to receive it, whatever's on that path.
It's a beautiful thing. You're brilliant. You're a light, and they came to see what SHAE with an E was doing, but they met SYX, and I hope that they are inspired. I hope that anyone listening, everyone who has an opportunity to hear us today, would be inspired, that you said faith over fear, and that you went with it. You took your shot and you went with it. Keep doing that. Don't ever give up. Dreams come true. I'm looking at my dreams coming true right now. So thank you for your time. This has been a great opportunity for me. Again, this is SHAE with an E. This has been Conversation with SHAE, and you have heard from SYX. Not the last, but you've heard right in the middle of the journey. Thanks so much.